Welcome to the 20th International Conference on Learning. This is a paper on Redesigning the Curriculum 360 Degrees Interactions by Paula Hodgson and Eva Lui from City University of Hong Kong. Here's the outline of the study. First, the background of the study. Second, managing change in the new curriculum. Third, actions from the central offices. Fourth, actions from colleges, schools and departments. Fifth, actions from program and course leaders. Sixth, review of actions. And finally, the conclusion. Background of this study. All universities in Hong Kong have changed from 3 years to 4 years since September 2012. An unusual opportunity through the structural reform in universities in Hong Kong has brought forth an unprecedented new curriculum to the universities. The outcome-based teaching and learning approach focuses on the constructive alignment of teaching, learning and assessment, and students are to construct meaning in learning when they experience through related learning and assessment tasks. The Senior Management Institute of Hong Kong has made a renewal of framework of the outcome-based approach to teaching and learning adopted since 2005 and adopted a revised Bloom's taxonomy into the new 4-year curriculum. To promote a culture of innovation, discovery-enriched curriculum advocates strongly on student-centeredness in the learning journey. While it is paramount for students to acquire skills in both learning and research to university studies, Learning for Creativity redefines the boundary between learning and research at the university. Students are inspired to make original discovery and are given multiple opportunities to create when they master research skills such that they can produce innovative solutions in disciplines and betterments for communities. It is a challenge to academic faculty to facilitate students to build capacity to make inquiry and engender a learning culture with a creative mindset in the disciplinary programs. Managing change in the new curriculum. Burns 2004 described the 3 steps model of change embarked by Kurt Lewin. Step 1. Unfreezing. People unlearn the old behavior. Step 2. Moving. People are motivated to learn new knowledge and skills. And step 3. Refreezing. The new learned behavior has been established. Let's look at the planned change of the university. The planned change on undergrad program structures from the government has brought forth change in the whole university. First, it relates to courses in the first year offered in colleges in the university, and how students take decisions and make selections of program in the second year. So the planned change has been formalized and it reached the step of refreezing. That is, based on their students' performance and their interests, they have to make a choice. And it requires fine-tuning of the academic advising such that students can make informed decisions on the path of declaring the whole program. The complexity of the situation is that it comes from the emergent change of the strategic direction for the new curriculum with the DEC OBTL framework. This has brought a review to all programs to ensure that the learning culture that embraces an attitude of curiosity towards learning permeated in every course and capacity building to discover and innovate has been inculcated in courses across the years of university study. Building on the OBTL framework, the DEC OBTL involves incremental change because all teaching staff members takes on different perspectives on how they embrace DEC collectively in different programs. Let's look at actions taken from central offices of the university. When creating the need for change, it is highly crucial to develop a clear, enhanced vision. Senior management from the university communicated the actions to be taken at various levels and provided support in capacity building and ad hoc resources. A concerted support was closely provided through Office of Education Development and Gateway Education. We call it EDGE. EDGE is a central office with part of its mission being strengthening the teaching and learning environment of the university. They provided support to the teaching faculty such that the unfreeze process can be illuminated with appropriate procedures and actions needed to be taken by staff in colleges, schools, and in departments. The best practice model for an effective consultation was exemplified by the multidisciplinary efforts and the expert collaboration among colleagues from the Office of the Provost, EDGE, and the 2 visiting Fulbright scholars to provide a series of mass sharing sessions followed with in-department talks. In the past 12 months, a variety of activities was organized to communicate with faculty in colleges, schools, and departments by educational development officers from EDGE. The activities included institution-wide workshops, institution-wide sharing sessions, college-level talks, open forums, sharing sessions, departmental talks and consultation meetings to program leaders and individual faculty members when they planned and worked through the first phase. The pedagogical value of these activities was to provide a conversation to all staff about the new wave of educational practices in the unfreezing step. The staff from EDGE was to suggest various teaching methods tailored for different disciplines in the moving step. Second, the international practices were shared by the Fulbright scholars based on their own experiences practiced in their own institution. Building of shared vision, teaching faculties were highly encouraged to take the opportunity to discuss among teaching staff who were teaching in programs in the departments in terms of expectations and outcomes of these activities. Through the various activities, the need to provide a virtual discussion point is surfaced. The Provost Office led the launch of a SharePoint platform to share the good practices and the compilation of a frequently asked question to address common issues. Actions from colleges, schools, and departments. At college and school levels, deans or associate deans oversaw the implementation process on aspects such as overarching standards and practices across departments within a college or school. At departmental level, DEC-OBTL teams or working groups and a DEC-OBTL coordinator were designated to monitor the implementation process. They acted as the internal leader in providing support to staff in their departments. The strong OBTL infrastructure expedited this institution-wide DEC-OBTL integration exercise. Apart from capacity building support from EDGE and the Fulbright scholars, departments could apply for funding to have additional resource to support the revision exercise, and the allocation of DEC-OBTL Integration Fund served to match needs in departments. Each department proposed the best support for their needs. Some employed short-term project staff, some invited professionals from the disciplines, some organized unit-wide activities to discuss actions for DEC implementation. For capacity building activities like retreats, workshops, seminars in departments, schools, and colleges, there was a full scale of communication among staff members in which the step of unfreezing and moving took place. In a few occasions with tensions of resistance of change during the discussion, faculty members could generally go through a deeper discussion to communicate in greater details about issues and concerns, especially related to the requirements in meeting accreditation bodies and the periodical review with external examiner advisors in this type of activities. Some departments invited visiting professors in departments to share both their professional experiences and international best practice. Some departments recruited external consultants in the disciplines with good experience and knowledge of the programs. They could then lead internal discussion and provide their professional input in the revision of program intended learning outcomes and assessment rubrics to reflect the achievement of the creative level. To provide professional support among the newly recruited project staff members housed in departments, staff from EDGE provided customized educational advice to supplement the lack of adequate academic and educational experience. This included showcasing relevant examples, the discussion of the Bloom's revised taxonomy, and the concept of constructive alignments of intended learning outcomes in teaching, learning, and assessment activities. Staff from EDGE also took place in some departmental and college-level discussions. As there was no major revision in the program structure, the revision of the program intended learning outcomes could then be audited by respective colleges. Actions from program and course leaders. In the DEC-OBTL integration projects, all departments completed the revision of their curricula by embedding DEC elements in their programs. Program leaders appreciated this iteration of DEC-OBTL through which they reviewed their programs from the alignment with reference to the revision made in courses. With the revised Bloom's taxonomy, the program leaders needed to ensure that creativity and innovation elements are embedded in the revised program intended learning outcome. We call it pilots here. Second, mapping matrix was expected from each program to indicate the mapping between the revised pilots and the university graduate outcomes, and which pilots will be covered in each of the courses offered. As all programs went through the initial BTL exercise, this round of mapping appeared to be smoothly conducted. Across-the-board actions happened in all courses. Project staff, after completing the full orientation of the core duty, assisted in arranging meetings among faculty members. They helped promote buy-in from other faculty members in the same unit by holding staff meetings and informal meetings among staff members. Other actions include helping faculty members to understand the DEC approach and how to achieve the constructive alignments of the DEC integrated course intended learning outcomes, teaching and learning activities, and assessment tasks in individual courses in the program. Revisions were collaboratively done by the faculty member and the project staff, while project staff also provided clerical support and helped assuring the consistency and report alignment issues. Course leaders were the one to consider assessment tasks and revise rubrics to demonstrate creativity and innovation. Review of actions. The DEC-OBTL integrated exercise required programs and course leaders to review and revisit their curriculums, in particular the assessment tasks and the assessment rubrics. It took several rounds of institution level as well as college and departmental level discussion before the final deliberations. Through such interactions, a common understanding and interpretation of important shared value related to the DEC was established. Reports from departments confirmed that the DEC-OBTL integration exercise helped the frontline staff to understand the targets of DEC, and this institution-wide revision of all the programs facilitated the implementation of a coherent curriculum in all programs across disciplines. Incorporating institution-wide change requires both top-down and bottom-up approaches if a smooth transition was to be expected. Documenting program revisions in program outlines was only the first phase. Dialogues among faculty members on implementing DEC in class are crucial, such that the best practices in class actions across disciplines could be observed in the second phase in the moving step. To build a culture of discovery learning, the central offices will fund some program leaders in different disciplines to measure the impact of DEC implementation in teaching practices to ascertain whether DEC is rooted in disciplines through systematic, valid, and reliable longitudinal studies. Conclusion. All universities in Hong Kong have gone through the first year of the new 4-year curriculum. The integration of DEC into OBTL has become the current wave of educational protocol at the university. Its implementation has been expedited in time of the 4-year curriculum launch in the past 12 months. While the objective of DEC was for every student to have a chance to make an original discovery through the curriculum, it was to motivate students with a passion for knowledge and discovery in learning. There was a clear emphasis on active learning and student-centered approach. Our students will be given more opportunities to engage in inquiry together with the faculty and identify effective innovative solutions to problems. They will be expected to demonstrate their creative capabilities in varied assessment tasks. Effective diffusion of change management requires fostering synchronized top-down policy, effective leadership, with bottom-up appropriate actions. The staff from central units and designated dedicated staff for DEC OBTO exercise in departments with diverse expertise and attributes had made such interactions a beneficial experience, where colleagues would walk away more ready for DEC integration work. When implementing effectively, DEC would result in students adopting a more independent and active approach towards learning, and graduates practicing professionally at and beyond the level of international standards. The university continued to monitor the effectiveness of the curriculum and programs by measuring students' attainment of the intended learning outcomes at institutional, program, and course levels. Here is the list of references for this paper. Thank you for your time and attention to the presentation of this paper. This is Paula Hodgson with Eva Lui from City University of Hong Kong. Thank you. Goodbye.